we all carry so much, our own relationship to whether it's our belief systems, our body, like those things are so deeply ingrained. And that's what we're messing with here. Like in the fitness industry, it's like we are directly impacting people's belief systems about themselves. And that runs really deep. And that's a whole can of worms I could talk about for a while. But it's like when we're selling, like we are selling an investment in yourself. And what is everything that we have if we don't have our health, right? So it's like all we're looking for is to create a space that one, makes people excited, one, and two, makes them feel connected. And those things together get them to come back, because you can't feel change. You can't make strides towards what you're looking for if you're not coming back, if you're still sitting at home or like still afraid to do it, right? So like, how do we create a space that draws people in and gets them excited to come back without thought, without resentment, without fear, without this like feeling of judgment, like they don't belong there? Those are all barriers to preventing the average person who may really need this to change. And again, like, we have a tough job in that sense. I'm never going to shame somebody into being a better person. Like we all carry enough shame with so many things in our life. Like this space is not that, but it is going to push you and give you the choice, if you want to make the choice to level up, to grab heavier weights, to turn your wheel up, to interact with your neighbor and high five them. And maybe that's exactly what they need today to keep going. So that impact of the togetherness and the safety of just showing up as you are, like you're going to have people pulling you when you need it and like helping you along the way. And so that's the kind of environment where it's like, I don't want us to feel like we're alone on this little like 2x5 mat. Like, yes, we have so much going on in that little space, but it's like the potential to change and to grow is really impacted when we blur that line and like pull people together. It's kind of how I see it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Now I have to open up the can of worms. You said that fitness really challenges our beliefs about ourselves. What exactly do you mean by that?
I think if you think about any average person, like we have relationships to so many things, and how we spend our time, how we spend our energy, how we spend our money. If you don't have the belief system or the value system around fitness and moving your body, like how do we convince you that that's something that you need, right? Because I think as humans, like we believe things innately, and it's very hard to change those beliefs just by someone telling you to change it, right? Like I can't just say, you need to, I mean, a simple example would be like, I need to drink more water. And it's like a simple thing like that. How many times have I heard that that's something I need to do? I'm still bad at it. That's like a surface level example, but there are things that we believe in innately. And I think it takes a lot for someone to change their belief if they are not seeing it with their own eyes, if they're not feeling it. How do you get them to show up into this space? Because that's what we're doing, is like trying to get the average person that may have like no idea that fitness is what they need or could help them in their life, get them in here for the first time to feel something new. And how do you spend your money? How do you spend your energy? Like that shows you what you value. And I think there is a hesitancy for people. And I'm not saying you have to spend your money and time at Studio One. It's just the idea of, do we value moving our body? Because it's normally until something really bad happens, or we're older and we can't do the things we used to do, or that wake up call moment when we finally value moving our body. And it's like, when you show up here, I want to create the least barriers, like create and get rid of the barriers, I should say. I want to remove the barriers as best as I can to give someone a fighting chance to like feel something new. And that's what Studio One is doing. It's hitting people that aren't already in this world, that don't know what this feels like, that have never maybe accomplished something or pushed something, but their bodies or their mind in this way. And we're in the business of change, and change is hard. And we're constantly challenging people's willingness to like go there with themselves. And that's what we're doing in classes, is like, I'm not going to tell you, I can suggest anything, but the choice is always yours. Like, I'm not the one that's getting you out of bed in the morning. I'm not the one making those small choices, and keep staying consistent with yourself when nobody's looking or when things get really hard. Like us as instructors, we can't be there. it is you at the end of the day. And like, we only get one of these bodies, just one, for the entire time we're here. And so when it comes down to it, like, I can get all caught up in our brand compared to other brands, or what people are doing on Instagram, and like the complexity of like choreography on a bike and like being the coolest. But I don't give a fuck about that. I just want people to show up here, because the real people showing up, doing the work, are the ones making a difference in their families, in their jobs, in the community, here in the Seacoast. And so that's really where, as this thing grows and as we get more people in, you have to stay, like, I personally have to stay very zeroed in on the purpose here and the mission. Get people to move their bodies. And it is that simple. But with that comes so much hesitancy and so many challenges within each individual and their own relationship to their body, their own relationship to movement, whether they value it or not. And typically when life gets hard, fitness is the first thing to go. It's the one thing that keeps us sane, but it's the first thing to go. So we're constantly battling that, because life, like, I'm a human too. Life is really freaking hard most of the time. And like, that's what this experience is. And so having a place like Studio One, and the purpose of it is a reliable space for you.
I would say, of all of the different types of workouts you can do, of which there are many, I would say spin is probably the easiest. I don't mean easiest in terms of the workout itself.
Sure.
I mean easiest in terms of, all I have to do is strap my feet in here and pedal.
Yeah.
You're not there. You can't really have bad form on a spin bike like you could lifting weights.
Yeah,
okay,
sure,
maybe
you can, but it's not as detrimental.
It's not as detrimental.
Right? It can't cause like an immediate injury.
If you have bad form lifting weights or many other things, you're going to hurt yourself, and it's dangerous. So I would say spin is probably, if you're never really exercised before and you want to, I would say spin is probably the best place to start.
It absolutely is. And I think it's so interesting to me where people are they are intimidated by it. And look, like, I've been in the world for now 10 years, as we've seen, like, it's all I know. And so there's a lot of things that I can't see for the first time, right? And I'm aware of that. If I were to look at this from the outside, having never done it before, I can imagine it seems really intimidating, just because all you see on Instagram is like fun choreography and stuff like that. And that is in the classes. It absolutely is. But it's not about whether you're doing it or not, where the benefit is. And I think it is the most approachable exercise. Because first of all, it's a dark room. So like, if you're worried about people,
I love about that.
Yeah, me too. And I'm like, if you're worried about people seeing you not nailing it, like, first of all, we don't give a shit. We just want you there. Second of all, no one can see you because it's dark, and you just sit in the back. And like, there is zero expectation on our end of like, we don't expect anyone to be able to do it in the first class. Try first 10 classes. It's like, that is the one thing, is you want to be able to do all the stuff on day one, and you can't. And so it's like, are those people going to be willing to come back and like keep chipping away at it? Because it just takes reps. But as far as the intro, like the entry level that you need, it's zero. Like, you don't need to have worked out a day in your life to do spin. And you absolutely don't have to get in shape before you come to classes here. I hear that all the time. And it's honestly, I think, a knee-jerk reaction for people when I'm out in the world and they maybe haven't worked out in a while. Like, they think they have to get in shape before they come to classes. And I'm like, well, that's hilarious, because I wouldn't have a business if that was the case. Like, we actually are for that person, like specifically for that person. And you can take it at your own pace. Like, we're just up there having a ball. Like, you can choose to do what you want. I'm not going to, like I said from the beginning, I'm not going to shame you. I'm glad you showed up here today. Like, that's important to me. And like, how much you want out of this is always going to be up to you. I'm going to lead and push from my angle, but like, you decide what you want. And on a bike, you just go slower. You just don't add the upper body part of it or the choreography part. If you're not a rhythm person, it's also okay. You can still get a killer workout and listen to amazing music and leave sweaty as hell. Like, depending on what your goals are, right? So there's so many different reasons for people to walk into that space. I agree with you. I think spin is the perfect entry point for anybody. And like, I was that person. And I want to state that as like, for anyone who hasn't maybe listened to the old episode or like knows anything about the story, like, I'm someone who hates exercise and I own a gym. So the reason for that is I created an environment that I wanted. And I think you asked me a question in the first episode of like, oh, is this like, I don't know if You asked me if it was like a selfish decision or not.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Something like that. And I just had never had it framed in that way, but I absolutely think it was like, I wanted a culture that I wanted to be a part of. I wanted a community that I needed to stay consistent and excited so I could feel better, because I'm a person that like stagnancy is like the death of me. And it is the one mode that my body goes into when I'm overwhelmed. I just shut down. I want to do nothing. And I have to fight that often, because I deal with stress like anybody else. It's like I'm dealing with overwhelm and stress, and that's my coping mechanism, is to shut down. And it is the worst thing for my mental health. And I struggle in the same way with staying consistent and having a place to come to that you can rely on, that lifts you up, and you always feel better leaving. Like I would want to poll our membership base and ask them, and I want to know how many people walk out of here feeling worse than when they walked in. Because I can guarantee it's nobody. Right. It's nobody. You always feel better, but doing the thing is the hardest. Getting up out of bed is probably the hardest part. Getting in motion is the hardest part. So if we can create a space for someone who's new to this kind of thing and new to showing up for themselves in this way, then like the world is your oyster. Like you can feel like an entirely different person in a matter of a month. Even less. After your first class, I would even say, people are like, what the heck was that? Like, that was incredible. I never thought that I would like this. We hear that all the time. It's just this like genuine surprised feeling because of what people's preconceived ideas are about it. But like you said, it is all fitness levels. Anybody can walk in this space and be okay. Like we're never going to be mad or upset at you, or like whatever the fear is that holds people back from trying something like this. It's not from a space of judgment from us. Right? It really is most of the stuff is, again, coming back to our belief systems about ourselves, right? That's what we're fighting with, trying to get people in the door.
Yeah.
And it's a tough sell.
Yeah.
Like it's a tough business,